All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another show. Today we're going to be talking about two different topics. Hazard going to Real Madrid again, you know, and then Ace James Rodriguez on his way out to another club, to another loan move. So we'll talk about those two topics. Lots to talk about. There's a lot of different things to talk about. So first, let's get to Hazard, who's currently has 18 months left on his contract. Uh, 28 years old already. Chelsea not doing great. They're not doing that good. They lost to Arsenal 2-0 last game. Um, Hazard hasn't been great either in these past few matches. However, I'm not going to jump and say he's a bad player or anything, but he hasn't been good because I think he's been played as a false nine, and they're trying to replace Morata with Hazard and see if that works or not. But it hasn't worked out so well. To be honest, I really haven't heard much of Hazard these past, I would say, 2 months or so. He seems to. I haven't heard much from him. I'm just gonna say that. I think he's gotten some goals, some assists here or there, but it's not that much compared to what he was producing at the beginning of the season. That everyone thought he was gonna be like at 40 goals this season or something like that. But right now he has 10 goals and 10 assists in 22 matches. It's a very good output, no doubt about it. I mean, he's contributing like something every game basically. Um, However, these past 2 months, I would say, he hasn't done so much. I mean, I think I can't remember how much it was, but I know he did a lot in a few matches, and he was top scorer actually at some point. Um, he had 7 goals and 4 assists in like a very few number of games, and then it just kind of dwindled down. And this is the the pattern that we see with Hazard all the time is that he does really good at the beginning of the season. Like I said before, he does really good at at the beginning of the season, but then it just dwindles down in the middle of the season, and it's just a repeating pattern. And I'm just wondering if in Real Madrid he'll probably have that problem, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has that problem. Um, and him and apparently Sorry talked also against the Chelsea players. He really talked against them. I saw the video. He blatantly uh, tells them to step up because it's their fault that they didn't win the last game, and you can see the video online. It's everywhere, and Sorry doesn't really hide his feelings at all. It's there to see. Yeah. Anyways, he did talk about Sorry a little. He said him and Sorry share the same footballing ideas. So obviously some good news for Chelsea too, and for Chelsea fans. Um, it just shows that there's some common ground between the coach and the player, which wasn't the case when Mourinho was there, or even Conte was there, because under Conte, Hazard did good his first season, but in the second season you could see there was some problems there. It didn't really work out between them two, and um, for one reason or another, it could be because of the defending that Hazard had to do, and probably Hazard doesn't like to do that. He's not that kind of player. He likes to play more to his strengths, which I understand. That makes a lot of sense. However, I think every player should do a little bit of defensive duties, including Hazard. He shouldn't be excluded from that. I think the only players that can be excluded from that are Messi and Ronaldo, which Hazard is not there, and he will never be at Messi's and Ronaldo's level. And he did talk about that. I think he had an interview or something like that. So he did talk about being at Messi's and Ronaldo's level. And when he was asked about the comparisons, he said, "I've been at their table for a long time." So meaning that he's been, he's kind of not. He hasn't put himself in the same bracket, but he's been right there. And to be honest, I've seen Hazard. I've seen Hazard play. Um, he's not at the same bracket at all. At all. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know if it's in terms of dribbling. I really don't know, because he is not in that bracket of Messi and Ronaldo. I know a lot of pundits compare that, like to make that comparison, but the reality is he's never been at that level, and he will never be at that level. To be at Messi's and Ronaldo level, you have to do it consistently every game, score in big matches, which he does to some extent. Um, but he still goes missing too much to be at Messi's and Ronaldo level. Yes, maybe Ronaldo goes missing some matches, or Messi's some matches. Messi, I haven't seen. Ronaldo, I've seen go missing sometimes. Messi, actually, you could argue, yeah, I haven't seen Messi gone missing, but they're very, very rare. And Hazard, we've seen it too many times. He goes missing. He goes missing. And it's not a coincidence. He's done it season after season. And so that's why I don't think he's on the same bracket as Messi and Ronaldo. He can't even get past 17 goal tally. And I'm not saying that's not a lot in the Premier League. That is quite a bit. But Ronaldo and Messi have scored 40 plus goals a season. Um, yes, they're playing in La Liga, but the thing is, Ronaldo and Messi made La Liga look easy. Gareth Bale, yes, he scored a lot of goals. I think his most that he scored in Real Madrid was, I can't even remember, it might have been 17 league goals or something like that, which is really good, but nowhere near the level of Ronaldo and Messi. So you can't compare them to Ronaldo and Messi. Obviously, Hazard right here, just saying that he should be at the same table as him is just delusion at its finest. He's nowhere near that table. Um, but he also said after that, and I quote, "But there is a moment when you have to stay down to earth. For what they've done for 10 years, we cannot be compared to them. It's impossible." Then again, I don't know where he's going with this. He says, "I've been at the table for a long time, but I cannot be compared to them." So I don't know what he wants. I don't even know what he's thinking, what's in his mind. Um, he's flirting with Real Madrid for 3 years. He's kind of saying these things. He's contradicting himself again. Um, it's worse than a girl. I mean, he's just always kind of contradicting himself, and it gets kind of annoying. And you know what? To be honest, I don't ever think he'll come to Real Madrid just because of that. It's never sure. It's never concrete, and that can be a problem. That can be a problem. Just like we see in his game where he goes disappearing. That is a problem. And let's see. One other thing he said too is that I frustrate my managers, but I won't change. Obviously, him, just girl characteristics, right? I mean, I frustrate my managers, but I won't change. I mean, these kinds of comments are just something that I don't want to see at Real Madrid. Um, it's almost like he has more power than the managers in terms of he won't do what the managers ask him to do. I'm not sure if he was trying to say that he will not defend because the managers have asked him to do defensive duties. I'm not sure what he was referring to, um, but I won't frustrate. I frustrate my managers, but I won't change. That kind of seems to I'm bigger than the manager, and I won't change my game because I think it's fine. And to be honest, I don't want that at Real Madrid. I'd rather have someone who can, eat the humble pie and put his head down and work his socks off for Real Madrid for the game, just like Vinicius has done. Vinicius, we've seen him in every game. He's doing really good. He's progressing. He works really hard for the team, and I want to see that. Obviously, I'm sure Hazard could do the same thing, but after a while, I'm sure we'd see a little dwindling off in his performances, where probably he would just frustrate the manager. So I just don't think he'd be a good fit for Real Madrid. And then also he said, let's see what else he said. So talking about Sarri again. Sorry, I keep switching off topic all the time, but talking about Sarri again. He said on Sarri, he's close to the game, and I quote, he's close to the game. The coaches before were perhaps a bit less so. For them, it was more important to win, to defend well. Even for him, too, we go over the same things a lot. But once out there on the pitch for 90 minutes, he wants us to have the ball. And so he's obviously referring to Sarri, that the other managers were very defensive, and they're kind of on the same. They kind of think parallel to each other. And then also so the thing that really addressed the Real Madrid rumor is that what he said in the interviews, that he said, I've always said that after England I wanted to discover something else, but there are things that could make me stay too. So this is annoying because he always says these kinds of stuff. He said this for 3 years. He's never come to Real Madrid. What makes us think he'll come to Real Madrid in the next year or so? Um, there's really not much. There's really not much. He even said after the World Cup I wanted to leave, but in the end I stayed at Chelsea, and I'm playing one of the best seasons so far. Yes, you're playing one of the best seasons so far, um, and you wanted to leave, um, and it just doesn't make any sense. He's always saying he wants to leave, but he never leaves. He never leaves. So I don't think Hazard will come to Real Madrid, and I rate him as a player, um, but I don't ever think he'll come to Real Madrid. It just won't work out, and uh, he just keeps saying these things, and he never comes to Real Madrid. Real Madrid in this time, they're not doing too good. They're going through a transition phase. I don't think he'll come to Real Madrid in this stage. Maybe Chelsea are not going through a good time either. They're going through tumultuous times, um, but I don't think he'll come to Real Madrid. He's just, maybe it's just he's in his comfort bubble. I'm not sure why, but like I say, he's not coming. Anyways, that aside, I want to talk about James Rodriguez. I'm not going to talk about him for very long, but just to address the little transfer rumors that are going on here and there. So he's linked to Arsenal right now, to a loan to Arsenal, and then with an option probably of buying him for 37 million. Um, for me, James Rodriguez is a really good player. I really like the guy. Fantastic player, ruined by Zidane. Um, as much as Zidane was a good coach, and as much as I like Zidane, um, I have to admit that James Rodriguez was really ruined by Zidane, and and it just saddens me because in that season where Ancelotti won the Champions League, having played James Rodriguez a lot, James Rodriguez was able to score 14 goals and 17 assists in all competitions, and this is in 29 appearances. So he's literally doing a little bit over one contribution per game. Is very, very good tally. Um, and he was very good in that season under Ancelotti. I just remember he was so good. He would just create all the time and make loads of chances, loads of goals, and the goals that he scored were just out of this world. I think it was versus Deportivo La Coruña, and then he scored. I think he was on the right, and then he scores it and he curls it away from the goal, and it just hits that. It hits the right top hand corner of the post, and I don't think it hit the post. I think it's the goal, but it's just right there. It's just so good. He has so much talent, immense talent, gargantuan talent. It's crazy. But Zidane mismanaged him, and he was off to Bayern. And then in that Bayern season where he did really good, he had 8 goals and 13 assists in 23 appearances for the Bundesliga team, and he was really good too in that season. So it just shows that when you have a James Rodriguez who's happy, who loves to play for the club, he will produce, and I think Real Madrid should not let him go, especially that Real Madrid want to trade possibly Ericsson for James Rodriguez. Ericsson hasn't signed a new contract yet. Um, I I think we should stick with Thomas Rodriguez. I really don't think he should be sold. He's really good. A lot of people like him. He's a fan favorite. He'll sell you shirts, Florentino Perez, because obviously Perez is just he's just so worried about selling shirts. He'll sell you shirts, Florentino. I promise. I promise. I promise. And he's just all around a good player. I mean, the chances he creates are just impeccable, and the goals he makes are just crazy. He's got fabulous technique, and I think we need to get him back at Real Madrid. But yeah, I mean, those are just opinions. Obviously, I'm not the coach or manager or anything like that. I wish I could. I tell Perez to bring him back because he's too good to not bring back. But then again, that's not my decision. But it just goes to show that when you have a happy James Rodriguez, he will produce. We don't need to sell him. He's a very good player. He came in when he was young. He produced, mismanaged by Zidane, then goes to Bayern, then has a really good season. Again, manager doesn't like him. I don't know why. I think he has like 9 appearances so far, and he's got 3 goals, which is fairly good to be honest. But he was not happy under this. He's not happy under Kovac either, so that's why Arsenal are linked to him right now. And I just think we need to get him back. Really, I think we need some another midfielder to create. We really need to create chances. It's true that we've created a lot of chances, but I think we just need to create clearer chances. And James Rodriguez would be perfect. The only qualm about I have is that Solari will not like James Rodriguez. I have a feeling that he won't like him. I'm not sure why, but you never know. We'll have to see what happens in the end. And Solari is the manager, and I have to give credit to Solari. Solari has done a really good job. I'm not his biggest fan again. Do I think he'll stay till the end of the season? For sure, he'll stay till the end of the season. However, I'm not his biggest fan, so it's just the kind of football that we play. It's kind of boring. I don't know, possession based. It's not as fun. It's not as entertaining to watch. Especially his man management. It's not as good. I don't really agree with it, but hey, he's the coach, and we'll have to do what he wants. So that's that. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. That's the end of the show. Thanks for subscribing, and man, I'm getting more subscribers. This is awesome. I'm getting comments too in the videos, which is awesome too. So happy, and I want to make this channel grow, obviously. So I'm gonna try to be putting more and more content out there. I'm settling down in this hotel environment for right now. Still have to find a place to rent. But yeah, gonna be uploading more content pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. And see you guys possibly tomorrow, if not probably the day after tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching, and stay subscribed, like the video, comment, whatever you guys want. Thank you guys so much.